They do, of course they do. Well, we hope you're enjoying it anyway. We do once again apologise for the delays today. Nothing me and Dave could have done about it.
We had gremlins, they were running all around the place. They were chewing cables. It was ridiculous, man. You couldn't see there were little green things.
Been nuts. But this is what technology does. That was the weirdest face I've ever seen. But, you know, technology does this sometimes. It doesn't always play ball as you would expect it to. The tournament did start a bit later than expected. Again, we can only apologise for that. It was out of our control. We do appreciate everybody's frustration. Everybody here was frustrated at those issues as well. And, of course, we did try our best to fix them. And we are glad to be with you at last.
Glad to be with you at last.
On your screens, be casting for you and bringing you some proper good Call of Duty action. Of course, this is, well, it's going to be our last Black Ops 2 event. So hopefully it goes out with a bang.
For us too, it's going to be the last Black Ops 2 event. I'm aware there is some event in Paris going on, but we don't know about that. No. So it is going to be our last Black Ops 2 event, and one of my first Black Ops 2 events, which I think is quite good. It's my second one. And my last one. It's ridiculous, but hopefully moving into Ghosts, everything will be fine and dandy for the competitive side. So anyway, Chewy, what are we going to be doing now?
Well, I just want to ask your predictions because, you know, we talked about it very quickly and we talked about Epsilon, but let's leave Epsilon aside.
Yeah, we'll leave Epsilon aside, yes.
Let's have a think. You know, we talked about Infused and how they've got Tommy in there as well. We've got some strong teams coming into it, but one thing that I have to say is that predictions-wise, Refused. They were, of course, the former Frico All-Stars squad, I believe.
Yes.
They've got Crazy, Torres,
I've seen them
Amaze, and Rush.
They are fantastic
they look brilliant.
players.
They haven't teamed for a couple of months. You know, they split up and went their separate ways for a bit, but they're looking strong.
I casted on them in the Astro Cup a while ago. They were one of the teams. They were fantastic. I mean, Crazy was coming up with some phenomenal player, guys.
Great pun.
I mean, I'm very new to this scene, as I've said before, but you recognise greatness when you see it, and it's one to watch out for. Definitely.
Well, hopefully they can make their way into the championship bracket at a high seed tomorrow. Of course, that is what pool play is all about. Basically making sure that you get that top seed for tomorrow's championship bracket, and then there will be some teams from the, well, I think it would be classed as the open bracket, or the other teams who are not in the top 8 seeds progressing through to that if they get through there. But it's been an interesting day here at EGL. You know, we've got to talk about the venue a bit because, of course, we are in the famous London town, right in the centre of London. I mean, Leicester Square is literally, you can throw it, it's a stone throw away. It's right in the middle of London.
The Piccadilly statue is literally, you walk out, you turn right, and there it is.
It's exactly
there.
So
we are right
in the middle of London. It's a great venue. And, of course, the EGL guys have put in so much work here. They've even painted the entire walls and then put the EGL logo on here. They've not done this.
We have spongy floors as well over there.
Yeah,
have you seen the spot? We have spongy floors in the main area. They're really, really nice.
That was a great, interesting point to pick up.
It was, because you can sit down on them. That's the best thing about it, because there's loads and loads of people here, loads of chairs, but if you don't find a chair, that's fine. You can sit on the floor. You've got a spongy floor.
Well, that was an interesting point to pick up on.
It is.
I'm liking the venue. It's definitely something a bit different. It's always great when you can hold a big LAN event in the middle of London. It's quite an accessible place. I feel anybody can get to London pretty much.
Anybody can get to Piccadilly.
And it's an interesting place to be. So it's certainly something different for us, but we hope you're enjoying it anyway. Predictions-wise, though, I mean, we've got to talk about that top 8. It's going to be a difficult one. I'm not sure who I'm going to predict to really make it through to the final. We've seen some teams who unfortunately aren't here.
If we forget Epsilon, if we say Epsilon lose their thumbs overnight,
just suddenly lose
there's somebody going around with cigar cutters and cut off all their thumbs.
That's brutal.
That's brutal, but if it happens, that's the only way I can think of it happening.
Okay, right.
So somebody captures Epsilon, that happens. You know what? Before the event, I would have said Infused TCM. But TCM...
They looked a bit shaky.
Earlier. Sorry, Marky, if you're around here. I know you're a good friend of mine.
Yeah, Marky's probably going to hate us after that. He's going to
come around the corner any second and kill us, probably. But it doesn't matter. It's okay. But the TCM are looking a bit shaky. So I have to say that Farico squad might make it up there.
Well, we will have to see.
To wait and see.
We have got, another very quick, interesting point to talk about is TEC. Total Esports.
This is your side of things.
Of course. I love those guys. We love all the guys behind the scenes there at TEC. And a couple of weeks ago, they decided to shut down and they weren't going to run any more esports.
The tweets on my timeline.
Yes,
oh my god!
It was just everybody wanted them back, and the support for them was unreal. So they thought, okay, then we'll come back.
They came out with 2 teams.
So they've come out to EGL11 with 2 teams. They've supported 2 teams who did have difficulties with funding, and they went, okay, that's fine. We can make sure we sort you out. So we have 2 TEC teams here. Both of them are in the championship bracket. So make sure that you can distinguish them, because one is in Pool A, one is in Pool B. So you can tell the differures between them.
I'll have some problems. I'll have some problems.
Yes,
you'll teach me. Chewy, teach me the ways.
so you've got to look out for TEC as well. These guys need a big win. I know how hungry that organisation is for a win and to get a really top placement at an event like this. So you've got to look out for anybody. And this is the great thing about EGL and any Call of Duty event, really. You can never count anybody out until that final.
Exactly. That was the thing about Gfinity, was nobody gave Epsilon a chance. Nobody even when I said I support Team Epsilon or whatever, like not as a caster but as a player, they all laughed at me and said, whatever. And I was like, I don't mind. It's like a football team. You still support them through the good and the bad, whatever. And then they came up into the final.
They lost by one map.